You're scrolling through TikTok at 2 a.m. when a news alert pops up. Scientists have discovered that about 95% of our universe is invisible, roughly 68% dark energy and 27% dark matter, leaving less than 5% as the material we see. Your morning coffee suddenly tastes different because everything around you comprises just 5% of all cosmic content. The rest is dark matter and dark energy pulling strings like some cosmic puppet master holding galaxies together while stretching space itself into infinity. So naturally, you do what any rational person would do when faced with this existential nightmare. You decide to build a spaceship and escape this whole mess. Not just any spaceship, though. Building your universe-escaping machine. You need something that breaks every law of physics while keeping you alive long enough to regret the decision. First requirement: faster than light travel, because crawling through space at regular rocket speeds means your great-great-great-grandchildren might reach Jupiter if they're lucky. Your ship needs something like the hypothetical Alcubierre Warp Drive that contracts space in front and expands it behind, though physicists in 2025 still consider this purely theoretical with no breakthrough in sight. The hull requires materials that don't exist yet. Think diamond mixed with dark matter and held together with optimism. Most importantly, you need a playlist capable of surviving the journey, because nothing ruins a cosmic adventure like bad music echoing through the void. The navigation system presents its own nightmare scenario. Traditional GPS stops working roughly 240,000 miles from Earth, so your computer needs to track position using pulsar signals and gravitational wave detectors, while calculating routes through dimensions that human brains can't visualize. The life support systems must sustain biological functions during impossible journeys, where time moves backwards and space folds inside out. NASA's 2025 advances in water recycling for deep space missions and improved radiation shielding research offer hope, but these technologies still fall short of what you need for universe-escaping adventures. Your escape plan breaks down into 4 increasingly impossible phases, each designed to test whether sanity is actually required for cosmic travel. Phase 1 involves escaping the solar system, which sounds simple until you realize the true challenge ahead. Phase 2 requires breaking free from the Milky Way's gravitational grip while dodging 400 billion stars that didn't ask to be part of your midlife crisis. Phase 3 sends you careening through intergalactic space, where dark energy stretches the fabric of reality faster than your ship can travel. Phase 4 attempts to reach the observable universe's edge, located 46.5 billion light-years away, because cosmic expansion has been playing hard to get for 13.8 billion years. The observable universe measures 93 billion light-years across thanks to space itself expanding, while light travels toward us, creating a cosmic shell game, where distances keep changing the rules. Beyond that boundary lies either infinite more universe or something so alien that human language lacks words for the concepts involved. Your starting point happens to be the center of everything observable, not because Earth holds special cosmic significance, but because the observable universe centers on wherever you happen to be standing. Pick any direction, and the view extends 46.5 billion light-years before hitting the wall where information stops reaching us. Modern space technology makes this project slightly less ridiculous than it would have been 5 years ago. The James Webb Space Telescope has spotted galaxies from when the universe was barely 400 million years old, proving that looking far enough becomes time travel, whether you want it or not. The SPHEREX mission, launching in 2025, will map the entire sky in infrared light, hunting for clues about cosmic inflation and dark energy. The Dark Energy Spectroscopic Instrument has started providing hints about how dark energy behaves across cosmic time, giving scientists better tools for understanding what drives universal expansion. Fusion reactors finally work in laboratories, giving hope that your ship might generate enough power to bend spacetime without immediately exploding. The real question involves whether human consciousness can survive outside the universe, or if your brain simply dissolves into quantum foam the moment you cross whatever boundary separates existence from whatever lies beyond. Your neurons evolved to process three-dimensional space and forward-moving time, so they might throw error messages when confronted with regions where cause follows effect, and up becomes sideways. The ship's medical bay needs equipment for treating conditions that don't exist yet, like dimensional displacement syndrome and temporal vertigo. Recent advances in brain-computer interfaces suggest that uploading consciousness to quantum processors might preserve your mind during the journey, but then you face the philosophical nightmare of whether the uploaded version counts as you or just thinks it remembers being you. The backup plan involves genetic modifications that help human biology adapt to impossible environments, but evolution never prepared DNA for surviving outside the universe, so results remain unpredictable at best. Your ship requires shielding against cosmic radiation that increases exponentially as you approach the universe's boundary regions where space itself becomes unstable. Dark matter concentrations can crush normal matter into exotic particles, so your hull needs to shift between different quantum states depending on local conditions. Dark energy fluctuations might stretch your ship across galactic distances before snapping it back to normal size, assuming normal still means anything at those scales. The stakes couldn't be higher because success means discovering secrets that predate the Big Bang, while failure might scatter your atoms across multiple dimensions, where they spend eternity trying to remember how to be human. You might encounter the cosmic engineers who built this universe like a simulation running on hardware made from collapsed stars. You could stumble into the quality control department responsible for fine-tuning physical constants and demand to speak with the manager about why gravity seems so much weaker than the other fundamental forces. Your journey might reveal that escaping requires abandoning every aspect of human identity, including the concept of being an individual separate from the cosmic background. True escape could mean dissolving into the quantum fields that generate universes like soap bubbles in higher dimensional space, where your consciousness becomes part of something vast and alien that experiences all possible realities simultaneously. The spaceship becomes your cocoon for metamorphosis into a cosmic entity that remembers being human the way adults remember believing in Santa Claus fondly, but without nostalgia for that innocent state of mind. But before any of that cosmic transformation nonsense, you face a more immediate problem that makes all the theoretical physics seem simple by comparison. Phase 1. Ditching our cosmic neighborhood. Getting out of our solar system sounds simple until you realize the solar system stretches nearly 2 light-years from the sun and contains enough gravitational traps to turn your escape attempt into a cosmic pinball game. Your ship launches from Earth at maximum thrust, but immediately runs into the first problem. Jupiter sits there like a massive bouncer checking IDs at the cosmic nightclub entrance. You need Jupiter's gravity to accelerate your ship, so you swing around the gas giant picking up speed while dodging its 79 moons that orbit like deadly carnival rides. The gravitational slingshot maneuver works perfectly. Jupiter flings your ship towards Saturn at speeds that would liquefy normal human passengers, but your impossible engineering keeps you intact. Saturn presents the next checkpoint on your solar system escape route, and its rings create a spectacular light show as you approach for another gravitational boost. The rings contain billions of ice chunks ranging from pebbles to house-sized boulders that could shred your hull if you miscalculate the approach angle. Your ship threads between ring gaps using Saturn's gravity to gain even more velocity, while the planet's 83 moons create a complex gravitational field that requires constant course corrections. The slingshot around Saturn launches you toward the outer solar system at speeds approaching 1% light velocity, which feels impressive until you remember this represents the easy part of your journey. The Kuiper Belt stretches ahead like a cosmic obstacle course, filled with icy remnants from the solar system's formation. New Horizons mission data reveals objects larger than Pluto hiding in this region, including dwarf planets that somehow avoided detection for decades despite their massive size. Your ship navigates between these frozen worlds, while scanning their surfaces for signs of subsurface ocean or exotic ice formation that might contain clues about early solar system conditions. The data helps plot safe routes through the densest region, where collisions with house-sized chunks of rock and ice could end your escape attempt before it properly begins. Navigation becomes tricky as traditional solar system reference points disappear behind you and the stars ahead remain too distant to provide reliable positioning data. Your ship's sensors detect thousands of comet nuclei drifting through the darkness, each one a potential collision hazard that could punch through your hull and decompress the cabin in seconds. The density of objects remains relatively low, but when you're traveling at significant fractions of light speed, even small impacts carry devastating kinetic energy that makes avoiding everything essential for survival. The Oort cloud looms ahead like the solar system's haunted attic, filled with trillions of ancient comets that have been waiting billions of years for something interesting to happen. This spherical shell of icy bodies extends from about 2,000 astronomical units to roughly 100,000 astronomical units from the Sun, creating a boundary zone where the solar wind finally loses its battle against interstellar space. Your ship enters the inner regions where comet nuclei drift in slow-motion orbits that take millions of years to complete, making this region feel like a graveyard for cosmic debris that never quite escaped our star's influence. The heliopause appears as an invisible boundary, where the Sun's protective magnetic field finally surrenders to the harsh radiation environment of interstellar space. Voyager spacecraft data shows this transition zone contains unexpected turbulence and particle interactions that could damage your ship's electronics or expose you to cosmic radiation levels that turn human DNA into biological confetti. Your hull's shielding activates automatically as solar wind pressure drops and interstellar medium particles begin penetrating deeper into local space. Time dilation effects become noticeable as your velocity approaches 10% light speed, making seconds stretch into minutes for outside observers while your onboard clocks tick normally. This creates the disturbing realization that friends and family on Earth experience your journey in slow motion, watching your ship crawl across decades of local time, while you experience only months of subjective duration. The psychological weight of temporal displacement adds another layer of isolation to the physical distance separating you from everything familiar. As you clear the Oort cloud stretching out to roughly 100,000 AU, you finally shed solar influence after subjective months of travel that correspond to several years of Earth time due to relativistic effects. The Sun shrinks to just another star among thousands visible in the cosmic background, while Earth disappears completely into the solar glare, making your home planet utterly invisible from this distance. The temperature drops to just above absolute zero as solar heating becomes negligible, and your ship's thermal systems work harder to maintain habitable interior conditions. Stars that appeared as single points of light from Earth begin resolving into distinct objects with their own planetary systems and cosmic neighborhoods. Proxima Centauri sits just over 4 light-years away, making it your closest stellar neighbor and potential rest stop if your ship's systems need repairs or if the isolation becomes unbearable. The realization hits that reaching even the nearest star would take decades at your current velocity, highlighting how vast the gaps between stellar systems truly are. Your ship finally clears the solar system's gravitational influence, representing a microscopic achievement compared to what lies ahead. The milestone feels simultaneously triumphant and terrifying as you realize Phase 1's success, means you're now committed to a journey that makes your solar system escape look like a warm-up exercise. The Milky Way galaxy stretches ahead, containing 400 billion stars arranged in spiral arms that span distances so vast they dwarf everything you've accomplished so far. Phase 2. Breaking free from the Milky Way. Your ship now faces the scale jump from escaping our solar system to breaking free from the Milky Way, which makes your previous achievement look like stepping over a puddle compared to swimming across the Pacific Ocean. The galaxy stretches 100,000 light-years from edge to edge, containing 400 billion stars, according to recent astronomical surveys that keep refining this massive number. Each of those stars potentially hosts its own planetary system, creating a cosmic traffic jam that makes rush hour in Los Angeles look organized and efficient by comparison. Your ship enters the galactic disk, where stellar density increases dramatically, and navigation becomes a three-dimensional chess game played against gravitational forces that can crush spacecraft into metallic pancakes. Rogue planets drift through the darkness between stars, having been ejected from their original solar systems during violent encounters with larger worlds or stellar explosions. These cosmic wanderers travel through space at hundreds of kilometers per second, making them nearly impossible to detect, until they pass close enough to disrupt your ship's trajectory or punch holes through your hull, with kinetic impacts that release energy equivalent to nuclear weapons. Stellar nurseries appear ahead, glowing with the light of newborn stars, surrounded by dense clouds of gas and dust that interfere with your ship's sensors and communication systems. These regions contain protostars still gathering material from surrounding nebulae, while stellar winds from nearby mature stars sculpt the gas clouds into fantastic shapes that would be beautiful if they weren't trying to kill you. The radiation levels spike as you navigate between these cosmic construction zones, where temperatures soar into millions of degrees, and magnetic fields twist space itself into pretzel configurations. Sagittarius, a asterisk, lurks at the galactic center like a cosmic garbage disposal that has been running continuously for billions of years. This supermassive black hole contains the mass of 4 million suns compressed into a region smaller than our solar system, creating gravitational fields so intense that nearby stars orbit at thousands of kilometers per second. Your ship's instruments detect the black hole's influence from thousands of light-years away, as space-time curves noticeably, and tidal forces threaten to stretch your vessel into cosmic spaghetti if you venture too close to the event horizon. Dense stellar regions create genuine traffic problems as your ship navigates between closely packed star systems, where gravitational interactions create complex orbital mechanics that require constant course corrections. Multiple star systems containing binary and trinary stars generate chaotic gravitational fields that make straight-line travel impossible, forcing your ship to follow curved paths that loop around massive objects like following a cosmic highway system designed by committee. The stellar traffic becomes so congested in some regions that you need to reduce velocity to avoid collisions with other objects following similarly tortuous routes. Your ship climbs steadily above the galactic plane as stellar density decreases, and the view becomes increasingly spectacular. The Milky Way's spiral arms spread below you like cosmic pinwheels traced in starlight with dark lanes of dust, creating intricate patterns between the bright stellar concentrations. Recent discoveries have revealed that the galaxy's shape is more complex than simple spiral arms, with stellar streams and tidal tails from disrupted satellite galaxies, creating additional structural features that astronomers are still mapping and cataloging. The 400 billion stars of the Milky Way create a light show that no human has ever witnessed from this perspective, as individual stellar neighborhoods resolve into distinct regions with different ages, colors, and compositions. Older red giant stars cluster in the galactic bulge, while young blue giants trace the spiral arms where star formation continues at a frantic pace. The view reveals hidden stellar streams created when smaller galaxies were torn apart by tidal forces during close encounters, with the Milky Way creating ghostly trails of stars that mark ancient cosmic violence. Every star visible from Earth lies somewhere below you now, including the Sun, which has shrunk to just another anonymous point of light among hundreds of billions of stellar neighbors. The psychological impact hits like a cosmic sledgehammer, as you realize that all of human history, all of our wars, discoveries, and achievements occurred within one tiny corner of this vast stellar city. The night sky that inspired countless generations of astronomers and poets represents an infinitesimal fraction of the cosmic real estate that surrounds you. Time dilation effects become increasingly noticeable as your ship approaches significant fractions of light speed, making onboard clocks run slower relative to the galaxy around you. What feels like weeks of travel time corresponds to years passing in the external universe, as relativistic effects stretch time like cosmic taffy. This temporal disconnect means that civilizations you might have observed during your journey age decades or centuries, while you experience only days, creating an eerie sense of watching galactic evolution in fast forward. Your ship finally clears the galactic halo, where the last traces of stellar material fade into the cosmic background radiation, and true intergalactic space begins. The transition happens gradually rather than at a distinct boundary, as stellar density decreases exponentially, and the gravitational influence of the Milky Way's dark matter halo extends far beyond the visible stars. The view behind you shows the entire Milky Way galaxy, reduced to a spiral smudge of light that could fit behind your thumb if you held it at arm's length. The Andromeda galaxy glows faintly in the distance as the next major milestone on your impossible journey, while dozens of smaller satellite galaxies drift through the local group like cosmic islands separated by seas of empty space. The loneliness becomes crushing as you realize that the nearest matter of any significant density lies farther away than light can travel in millions of years. Your ship now drifts toward regions where entire cubic kilometers of space contain fewer atoms than exist in a single breath of Earth's atmosphere. Phase 3, the Cosmic Web Highway. Phase 3 launches you into the Cosmic Web Highway system, where dark matter filaments stretch across hundreds of millions of light years, connecting galaxy clusters through invisible transportation networks that make human infrastructure look pathetically primitive. These cosmic superhighways formed when the universe was barely 3 billion years old, creating predetermined routes that funnel galaxies along gravitational channels carved from pure spacetime geometry. Your ship's instruments detect dark matter concentrations as they bend reality around your vessel, creating gravitational lensing effects that distort distant galaxies into cosmic funhouse mirrors. The cosmic web operates like the universe's circulatory system, made from dark matter scaffolding that holds everything together despite being completely invisible and refusing to interact with normal matter, except through gravitational attraction. Your ship rides these dark matter highways like following cosmic GPS directions, programmed by alien engineers who understood physics better than human scientists ever will. The filaments concentrate approximately 27% of the universe's total mass energy density into structures that dwarf anything visible to traditional telescopes, making your journey feel like navigating through the skeleton of some incomprehensibly vast cosmic creature. Recent 2025 discoveries from the Dark Energy Spectroscopic Instrument Survey have revealed unexpected structures within the cosmic web that challenge everything astronomers thought they understood about large-scale cosmic architecture. The DAISY survey analyzed three-dimensional maps containing almost 15 million galaxies and quasars, uncovering hints that dark energy density might vary over cosmic time rather than remaining constant as previous models predicted. These findings suggest the cosmic web continues evolving in ways that could fundamentally alter the universe's ultimate fate, creating possibilities ranging from eternal expansion to catastrophic collapse. Dark energy serves as your cosmic navigation system by pushing space itself apart at accelerating rates that create a repulsive force affecting the entire universe simultaneously. This invisible energy comprises roughly 68.3% of everything that exists, making it the dominant component of reality despite being completely mysterious and potentially variable over cosmic epochs. Your ship's navigation systems track dark energy fluctuations to plot courses through regions where spacetime expansion creates favorable conditions for faster-than-light travel, assuming your impossible engineering can exploit these cosmic currents. Galaxy clusters appear ahead like cosmic cities containing thousands of individual galaxies, gravitationally bound together in structures that span tens of millions of light-years across. These massive congregations represent the largest gravitationally bound objects in the universe, created when dark matter halos collided and merged over billions of years of cosmic evolution. Your ship approaches the Coma cluster, containing over 1,000 galaxies held together by dark matter concentrations that outweigh all visible matter by ratios approaching 10:1, making these regions appear almost solid compared to the surrounding cosmic emptiness. The Hubble constant measurements indicate the universe expands faster than previous calculations predicted, creating a cosmic acceleration that affects your journey through spacetime itself. New data suggests expansion rates vary depending on measurement methods, with local observations disagreeing with cosmic microwave background predictions by margins that make cosmologists lose sleep and question fundamental assumptions about reality. Your ship experiences these expansion effects directly as distances to target destination increase faster than your velocity can compensate, requiring constant recalculation of navigation routes. Spacetime becomes your primary obstacle as the fabric of reality stretches and warps around massive dark matter concentrations that create gravitational fields comparable to black holes without event horizons. Your ship's hull experiences tidal forces that threaten to stretch the vessel beyond structural limits, while time dilation effects make onboard clocks run differently than the cosmic background reference frame. The engineering challenges multiply exponentially as your ship attempts to maintain integrity while traveling through regions where space itself behaves like a fluid medium with variable density and flow patterns. The cosmic web regions you traverse formed during an epoch astronomers call the string cheese zone, where dark matter and galaxies created structures 20 to 30 times more active than current star formation rates. These ancient cosmic highways preserve information about early universe conditions, when physical laws operated under different parameters and exotic physics dominated cosmic evolution. Your journey through these primordial structures feels like traveling through the universe's childhood photographs preserved in dark matter amber. James Webb Space Telescope observations reveal that the early cosmic web contained galaxies that emitted light approximately 13.5 billion years ago, when the universe was barely 5% of its current age. These distant galaxies appear much further away than 13.5 billion light-years due to cosmic expansion, creating a cosmic shell game, where distances and travel times follow non-intuitive rules that make navigation planning a nightmare. Your ship's computers struggle to calculate accurate arrival times when target destinations recede faster than approach velocities can compensate. The observable universe's edge lurks somewhere ahead at distances approaching 46.5 billion light-years from your starting point on Earth, creating the ultimate cosmic speed limit that has nothing to do with physics and everything to do with information availability. Beyond this boundary lies either infinite more universe or something so fundamentally different that existing physics equations become meaningless mathematical poetry rather than useful descriptions of reality. Your ship approaches regions where the cosmic microwave background radiation represents the earliest observable light, creating a cosmic wall that blocks all information about whatever lies beyond. Your ship's instruments detect cosmic web nodes, where multiple filaments intersect, creating gravitational focusing effects that concentrate matter and energy into regions dense enough to support galaxy formation. These cosmic traffic intersections represent the most massive structures in the universe, containing dark matter concentrations that bend light from background galaxies into Einstein rings and cosmic mirages. The velocity readings climb steadily as your ship accelerates through increasingly empty regions of space, where the normal rules of physics begin showing signs of strain under the impossible demands of your cosmic escape attempt. Hitting the cosmic speed limit wall. Your ship approaches 99.999% light speed when reality decides to throw its biggest tantrum yet and slams you face first into the cosmic speed limit that makes highway speed limits look adorable by comparison. The speed of light sits at 299,790,2,458 meters per second, creating an invisible wall that prevents anything with mass from crossing into the forbidden territory of faster-than-light travel. Einstein's special relativity equations start screaming mathematical obscenities as your ship's engines strain against physical laws that have remained unbroken since the universe began keeping score of what's possible versus what's completely ridiculous. Time dilation effects kick in with the subtlety of a cosmic sledgehammer as your onboard clock slows to a crawl compared to the rest of the universe. What feels like minutes aboard your ship corresponds to years passing in the outside world, creating a temporal disconnect that makes video calls home impossible and turns your journey into an inadvertent time machine aimed at the future. Your ship's computer systems struggle to process the mathematical paradoxes created when time becomes more of a suggestion than a reliable constant, while your navigation instruments throw error messages that translate roughly to what the hell is happening to causality. The physics department of the universe apparently requires extensive paperwork before allowing violations of fundamental constants, so your ship's legal team begins filing permits for exceeding light speed, breaking causality, and operating outside normal spacetime parameters. The bureaucratic process involves submitting forms to departments that exist in higher dimensions, where office hours follow non-linear time schedules and customer service representatives communicate through quantum entanglement rather than traditional phone systems. Your application gets bounced between the Department of Temporal Stability, the Bureau of Causal Consistency, and the Office of Universal Constants, each demanding additional documentation that proves you understand the consequences of breaking reality. Faster-than-light travel transforms into time travel through mathematical sleight of hand that makes casino magic tricks look straightforward and honest by comparison. The Lorentz transformation equations reveal that exceeding light speed sends you backward through time, creating potential paradoxes where you could arrive at your destination before you left and potentially meet yourself coming back from a journey that hasn't happened yet. Your ship's temporal stabilization systems work overtime trying to prevent causality violations, while the universe's quality control department monitors your progress with increasing concern about timeline integrity. Recent 2025 advances in theoretical physics suggest spacetime manipulation might provide loopholes around the light speed barrier through exotic concepts that sound impressive, but probably violate every known law of physics simultaneously. Research into Alcubierre drive mechanics proposes warping spacetime around your ship to create a bubble where local physics rules get suspended, while global physics pretends nothing unusual is happening. The engineering requirements include exotic matter with negative energy density that exists only in theoretical mathematics, and possibly the fevered dreams of frustrated physicists who refuse to accept that some things remain impossible. Wormhole construction represents another theoretical escape route that involves punching holes through space-time fabric and hoping the universe doesn't notice the property damage until after you've completed your journey. The process requires manipulating quantum fields to create traversable shortcuts between distant regions of space, while maintaining structural stability that prevents the wormhole from collapsing into a black hole or exploding into a naked singularity. Your ship's engineering team begins assembling equipment that exists only in speculative physics papers, while crossing fingers that reality won't immediately reject these modifications as fundamentally incompatible with continued existence. The choice between forward progress and temporal stability creates existential dread, as you realize that reaching the universe's edge might require sacrificing your connection to normal causality. Moving forward means accepting that time travel becomes inevitable while staying within light speed limits, guarantees that the observable universe's boundary recedes faster than your ship can approach, creating a cosmic treadmill effect. Your ship's philosophy department holds heated debates about whether arriving at your destination through temporal paradoxes counts as success or represents a fundamental failure to understand the assignment. Your ship systems begin adapting to impossible conditions through modifications that violate manufacturer warranties and possibly several laws of thermodynamics. The navigation computers install quantum processors that calculate routes through higher dimensional space, while the life support systems prepare to maintain biological functions during periods when time runs backwards or sideways, depending on local space-time curvature. The hull reinforcement involves materials that exist in superposition states, allowing the ship to phase between different dimensional configurations when normal matter interactions become problematic. Quantum field fluctuations around your ship create rainbow-colored distortions in spacetime that would be beautiful if they weren't indicators of reality breaking down at the subatomic level. The ship's sensors detect tachyon emissions from your own engines, suggesting that parts of your vessel have already exceeded light speed and begun existing in temporal states that make present tense grammar meaningless. Your onboard artificial intelligence develops multiple personality disorders as different processors experience time at varying rates, creating conversations where responses arrive before questions get asked. The universe's edge beckons from distances that require abandoning normal physics entirely, since conventional travel methods cannot overcome cosmic expansion rates that increase faster than velocity can compensate. Dark energy pushes the observable universe's boundary away at accelerating speeds that mock your ship's engineering achievements and suggest that reaching the edge demands transcendence of physical limitations rather than technological solutions. Your mission parameters shift from travel planning to reality modification, as success requires rewriting the fundamental rules that govern existence itself. Space-time curvature around your ship approaches critical thresholds where general relativity equations produce results that mathematics professors would mark as incorrect on undergraduate exams. The gravitational fields generated by your impossible velocity create local regions where up becomes diagonal and forward loops back through yesterday, while conservation of energy takes extended coffee breaks. Your ship exists simultaneously in multiple reference frames, creating paradoxes that make Schrödinger's cat problems look like elementary school arithmetic exercises. Reality reaches its breaking point as your ship transitions from conventional physics into whatever lies beyond the mathematical frameworks that describe normal existence. The cosmic microwave background radiation begins blue shifting to gamma ray frequencies, while temperature readings fluctuate between absolute zero and stellar core conditions, as thermodynamics struggles to cope with reference frames that change faster than heat can transfer. Your mission control team on Earth receives radio transmissions from your future self warning about temporal paradoxes that haven't occurred yet, creating communication loops that violate causality in ways that make time travel movies look scientifically rigorous. The universe's edge demands passage through regions where physical laws become optional suggestions, rather than mandatory constraints, making your journey less about travel and more about metamorphosis into something that can survive outside the boundaries of everything humans understand about existence. Your ship crosses the threshold, where pursuing distance becomes something entirely different than anyone expected. Time travel to the universe's baby photos. Looking farther into space transforms into peering backward through cosmic history, as your ship encounters light that has been traveling toward you for billions of years, carrying information about the universe when it was young, chaotic, and completely different from today. The photons reaching your instruments originated from increasingly ancient epochs, creating a natural time machine that operates on the simple principle that distance equals age in a universe where light speed remains constant, but cosmic expansion stretches everything apart. This isn't theoretical physics anymore. This represents the inevitable consequence of finite light speed, combined with universal expansion, turning your escape attempt into an archaeological expedition through cosmic baby photos. The universe at 800 million years old appears ahead like cosmic dawn breaking after the longest night in history. Your ship's instruments detect the first galaxies forming from primordial gas clouds that had been drifting through darkness for hundreds of millions of years, waiting for gravity to concentrate matter into dense enough regions for star formation to begin. These early galaxies look nothing like the mature spiral and elliptical structures visible from Earth, instead appearing as chaotic blue smudges, filled with massive stars that burn through their nuclear fuel at ridiculous rates, creating cosmic fireworks displays that make modern supernovae look like birthday candles. James Webb Space Telescope observations from 2025 reveal that these early galaxies contained surprisingly massive black holes that formed much faster than theoretical models predicted, creating cosmic mysteries that force astronomers to question fundamental assumptions about early universe evolution. The telescope's infrared vision penetrates cosmic dust to reveal galaxy formation processes occurring at redshifts approaching Z equals 15, corresponding to cosmic times when the universe was barely 270 million years old and still learning how to make stars without destroying itself. These discoveries suggest that supermassive black holes and their host galaxies grew together through processes that current physics models struggle to explain without invoking mechanisms that might not operate anymore. The universe's awkward teenage phase becomes apparent as your ship encounters galaxies that resemble cosmic acne outbreaks with irregular shapes and bizarre blue colors created by population III stars, containing almost no heavy elements beyond hydrogen and helium. These primordial stars burn at temperatures exceeding 100,000 Kelvin, making them appear blue-white and incredibly luminous, while living fast and dying young in supernova explosions that scatter the first heavy elements throughout surrounding space. The cosmic metallicity during this epoch remains so low that planets like Earth couldn't form. Yet, because the raw materials for rocky worlds simply didn't exist until multiple generations of stars had lived and died to create elements heavier than lithium. Your ship ventures deeper into cosmic history, approaching the epoch of reionization, when the first stars began pumping out enough ultraviolet radiation to ionize neutral hydrogen throughout the universe, creating cosmic fog lights that gradually cleared the primordial darkness. This period represents the universe transitioning from its dark ages into the illuminated cosmos we observe today, as stellar radiation carved out expanding bubbles of ionized gas that eventually merged to create the transparent intergalactic medium. The process took several 100 million years to complete, creating a cosmic phase transition that fundamentally altered the universe's appearance and made modern astronomy possible by allowing light to travel freely through space. The cosmic dark ages stretch behind you like the ultimate power outage, lasting nearly 400 million years, when the universe contained no stars, galaxies, or any other light sources beyond the fading afterglow of the Big Bang itself. During this cosmic midnight period, the universe consisted entirely of neutral hydrogen and helium gas slowly cooling and clumping under gravitational attraction, while dark matter halos grew to sufficient size for supporting the first star formation events. The darkness was literally absolute, since no nuclear fusion reactions existed anywhere in the observable universe, making this epoch the most boring period in cosmic history, when absolutely nothing interesting happened for hundreds of millions of years. Your search for an actual universe edge becomes increasingly frustrating as you realize that traveling backward through time doesn't reveal any cosmic boundaries, just earlier versions of an already boundaryless universe. The early cosmos appears smaller and denser than today's universe, but still extends infinitely in all directions, without walls, edges, or cosmic welcome signs indicating where space ends and something else begins. This creates the maddening realization that the universe's boundary problem exists at all cosmic epochs, suggesting that escape requires more than just finding the right historical period to examine. The universe at 380,000 years old finally comes into view as your ship approaches the cosmic microwave background radiation, which represents the earliest baby picture available of cosmic conditions. This electromagnetic fossil formed when the universe cooled enough for electrons and protons to combine into neutral hydrogen atoms, allowing photons to travel freely through space for the first time since the Big Bang. The cosmic microwave background appears as a nearly uniform glow with tiny temperature fluctuations that represent the seeds of all future cosmic structure, including galaxy stars, and eventually planets capable of supporting civilizations crazy enough to attempt universe escape missions. The CMB creates an impenetrable wall of information, beyond which no electromagnetic radiation can provide details about earlier cosmic conditions, making this epoch the ultimate observational horizon for conventional astronomy. SpaceX's mission preparations for its 2025 launch promise to survey over 450 million galaxies across the entire sky, using near-infrared observations that will provide unprecedented data about early universe structure formation and dark energy evolution, helping astronomers understand how the universe evolved from smooth initial conditions into the complex web of galaxies and cosmic voids visible today. Your ship reaches the devastating realization that conventional time travel through observation cannot provide access to cosmic regions beyond the observable universe, since light from those areas hasn't had sufficient time to reach any location within the cosmic horizon. The early universe was smaller in terms of the observable region, but infinite space extended beyond observation limits, just as it does today, creating the same boundary problem at all cosmic epochs. This discovery forces acceptance that escaping the universe requires abandoning normal physics entirely and transitioning into realms where human concepts of space-time and causality become meaningless philosophical constructs rather than practical navigation parameters. The failure of every conventional approach leaves you facing an impossible choice that no rational being should ever have to consider: becoming a cosmic god temporarily. The solution requires abandoning your human meat suit entirely and transforming into a higher dimensional being with reality warping powers that make comic book superheroes look like weekend hobbyists. The transformation process involves dissolving your biological components into quantum fields while uploading your consciousness to mathematical frameworks that exist in dimensions your original brain couldn't comprehend without immediately having a seizure. Your ship's medical bay initiates the conversion sequence using exotic matter manipulators that reorganize your atomic structure according to string theory principles, while your awareness expands beyond three-dimensional space into realms where physics becomes more like cosmic finger painting. The metamorphosis feels like being turned inside out through 11 dimensions simultaneously, while retaining enough sanity to appreciate the absurdity of becoming a temporary deity just to solve a transportation problem. Your new form exists across multiple spatial dimensions, allowing you to perceive the universe from angles that human language lacks adequate prepositions to describe. Choosing your cosmic superhero name becomes surprisingly important for maintaining psychological stability during reality warping operations. So you settle on Captain Hyperdimensional, which sounds appropriately ridiculous for someone who just abandoned biological existence to win an argument with physics. String theory developments from 2025 provide the theoretical framework for your transformation into a being capable of manipulating fundamental forces through direct interaction with vibrating strings that comprise the basic components of reality. Your consciousness interfaces with these minuscule oscillating loops that generate particles and forces through different vibrational patterns, creating a cosmic instrument panel where gravity becomes a volume knob and time functions like a cosmic rewind button. The strings exist at scales approaching the Planck length, making them smaller than atoms are to entire galaxies, while their vibrational modes determine whether they manifest as electrons, quarks, or gravitons, depending on which cosmic symphony they happen to be playing. Your higher dimensional perspective reveals that the familiar three-dimensional universe represents just one slice of a much larger 11-dimensional reality, where additional spatial dimensions remain curled up at microscopic scales like cosmic origami that forgot how to unfold properly. The extra dimensions explain why gravity appears weaker than other fundamental forces, because gravitational effects leak into the bulk space surrounding our three-dimensional brain, while electromagnetic and nuclear forces remain confined to our cosmic membrane. This dimensional architecture resembles a cosmic apartment building, where different universes occupy separate floors connected by gravitational elevators that most residents never notice. The universe from outside three-dimensional space appears as a single geometric object that you can examine from angles that don't exist within normal spacetime, creating perspectives that make cosmic maps look like finger paintings created by particularly untalented kindergartners. Your new godlike consciousness perceives all of cosmic history simultaneously as a four-dimensional sculpture where past, present, and future exist as static coordinates rather than sequential events that unfold through time. The Big Bang appears as one end of a cosmic loaf of bread, while the universe's ultimate fate occupies the opposite terminus, with all of galactic evolution spread between like cosmic sandwich filling. Spacetime reveals its true structure as a mathematical construct that only appears continuous and smooth from limited three-dimensional viewpoints, while higher dimensional analysis shows reality consists of discrete quantum units that pixelate existence at the Planck scale. Your enhanced perception detects the holographic principle operating throughout cosmic architecture, where information content of any spatial volume gets encoded on its two-dimensional boundary surface like cosmic hard drives that store universal data in formats that require higher dimensional operating systems to access properly. This holographic encoding suggests that three-dimensional reality might be a projection from lower dimensional information structures, creating the disturbing possibility that escape attempts merely navigate between different projector angles. The landscape of possible universes stretches before your enhanced awareness like an infinite cosmic shopping mall, where each universe operates according to different combinations of physical constants and mathematical rules. String theory's vast parameter space contains approximately 10 to the power of 500 different possible universes, each with unique properties that determine whether stars form, planets develop, or intelligent life evolves to build escape vehicles. Your current universe occupies just one tiny corner of this cosmic real estate market, where the fundamental constants happen to support the formation of complex structures, rather than collapsing immediately or expanding into empty darkness. Your reality warping abilities allow direct manipulation of cosmic parameters through conscious adjustment of string vibrational frequencies that generate the forces and particles comprising physical reality. Gravity becomes controllable through modifications to closed string loop oscillations, while electromagnetic phenomena respond to open string vibration patterns that you can adjust like cosmic equalizer settings. Time dilation effects occur through spacetime curvature modifications that your higher dimensional form implements by reshaping the geometric structure of local reality, creating temporal bubbles, where causality follows custom-programmed sequences. Dark matter and dark energy reveal their true nature as manifestations of higher dimensional physics, where matter and energy from parallel branes leak into our three-dimensional space through gravitational interactions that operate across dimensional boundaries. Your enhanced perception detects these exotic substances as shadows cast by objects existing in higher dimensional bulk space, creating the illusion of invisible matter and mysterious repulsive forces when viewed from three-dimensional perspectives. The cosmic acceleration occurs because our universal brain moves through higher dimensional space, encountering varying geometric conditions that modify local physics parameters. Testing different theoretical models about universal geometry becomes possible through direct reality manipulation that allows experimental verification of cosmological hypotheses without waiting billions of years for observational data. Your consciousness interfaces with cosmic curvature parameters to determine whether the universe exhibits positive, negative, or zero curvature by implementing temporary modifications to local spacetime geometry and measuring the results through higher dimensional analysis techniques. The experimental process involves reshaping reality at cosmic scales while maintaining enough stability to prevent accidentally destroying the universe during data collection procedures. Whether escape remains possible even from this elevated consciousness level creates mounting existential tension as your godlike powers fail to reveal any mechanism for transcending the mathematical frameworks that define existence itself. The universe appears embedded within larger structures, but these higher-level realities operate according to similar mathematical principles, suggesting that escape might require abandoning logic itself, rather than simply transcending dimensional limitations. Your enhanced awareness begins contemplating whether the fundamental problem lies not in lacking sufficient power, but in misunderstanding what exactly needs escaping from in the first place. The Great Shape Mystery Hunt. Your godlike powers should theoretically solve the universe escape problem, except for one tiny detail: nobody actually knows what shape this cosmic prison has in the first place. The fundamental question of universal geometry keeps cosmologists awake at night, because determining whether space curves positively, negatively, or remains perfectly flat affects everything from travel routes to the universe's ultimate fate. Current scientific consensus favors a geometrically flat universe based on cosmic microwave background measurements. But this conclusion comes with error bars large enough to hide entire galaxies, making your escape planning feel like navigating with a map drawn by a drunk toddler using crayons. Testing the flat universe theory requires traveling in perfectly straight lines for billions of light years, while monitoring whether your path curves back toward the starting point like some cosmic boomerang designed by sadistic mathematicians. Your enhanced consciousness plots courses that maintain constant direction according to local spacetime geometry, while accounting for gravitational influences from massive objects that could deflect your trajectory. The experiment demands traveling distances comparable to the observable universe's diameter, which takes substantial portions of cosmic time, even with reality warping abilities that make physics professors weep tears of mathematical despair. Each attempt to locate a universal boundary leads back to your starting coordinates, creating frustration levels that transcend normal emotional responses and enter realms of cosmic annoyance. The universe behaves like a cosmic treadmill, where forward progress gets canceled by underlying geometric properties that redirect all motion back toward familiar regions of spacetime. Your godlike awareness detects this pattern after several failed escape attempts, each covering distances that dwarf galactic superclusters, while yielding identical results that suggest the universe enjoys practical jokes at the expense of beings trying to leave. Cosmic geometry measurements from 2025 missions, including the Euclid Space Telescope and ground-based observatories, provide increasingly precise data about universal curvature parameters that remain frustratingly close to exactly zero. The measurements indicate flatness within error margins approaching 1 part in 10,000, creating statistical confidence levels that would satisfy most scientists while leaving enough uncertainty to drive escape planners completely insane. These observations combine with theoretical arguments from inflation models to suggest geometric flatness, but cannot definitively rule out slight positive or negative curvature that might create global topological features. The possibility that our universe resembles a cosmic donut becomes increasingly plausible as your experiments reveal patterns suggesting finite volume despite infinite local geometry. A toroidal universe would allow infinite straight line travel while maintaining finite total space, creating the mathematical equivalent of cosmic Pac-Man, where exiting one side immediately places you at the opposite boundary. This topology eliminates traditional boundaries while creating shortcuts between distant regions that make navigation, planning absolutely nightmarish for beings expecting normal geometric relationships. Your enhanced consciousness explores the finite but boundaryless universe concept, where space curves back on itself through higher dimensional embedding that eliminates edges, while maintaining definite volume limits. This geometry resembles the surface of a sphere extended into 3-dimensional space, where travelers can journey indefinitely without encountering walls or boundaries, but cannot escape the finite region because all paths curve back through the underlying geometric structure. The concept violates human intuition about space and boundaries, while remaining mathematically consistent and observationally viable. The mounting realization that edges might not exist anywhere within universal geometry creates existential tension that threatens even your enhanced cosmic awareness. Traditional escape concepts assume boundaries between inside and outside regions, but universal topology might eliminate such distinctions through geometric properties that make outside locations literally undefined rather than merely inaccessible. This possibility transforms your escape mission from a transportation problem into a logical paradox, where the destination fails to exist within any meaningful mathematical framework. 4-dimensional shapes that describe possible universal geometries remain impossible for human minds to visualize accurately despite your enhanced consciousness, providing partial access to higher dimensional mathematics. The 3-sphere represents a 4-dimensional analog to familiar spherical surfaces, where 3-dimensional space curves through a 4th spatial dimension, creating finite volume without boundaries. Hyperbolic geometries extend 3-dimensional space through negatively curved 4-dimensional embedding that creates infinite volume while maintaining consistent geometric relationships. The observable universe contains approximately 2 trillion galaxies, according to recent estimates, while the entire universe beyond our cosmic horizon might contain infinite additional structure that remains permanently inaccessible through normal observation methods. Your escape attempts must account for the distinction between the observable universe's edge, which represents an information boundary caused by finite light travel time, and potential geometric boundaries that might exist at scales exceeding our observational capabilities. The The light travel distance to our cosmic horizon spans 13.8 billion years, while space expansion stretches this boundary to approximately 46.5 billion light-years, creating confusion between distance measurements and actual geometric properties. Current measurements suggest the minimum possible universe size has a diameter roughly 100 times larger than our observable region, implying total volumes that exceed observable space by factors approaching several thousand. These estimates assume geometric flatness, while acknowledging that positive curvature could create much smaller total volumes approaching the observable universe's scale. The possibility that we inhabit a cosmic bubble with diameter comparable to our observational limits creates hope that boundaries might exist at accessible distances if your enhanced abilities can overcome the measurement uncertainties. Your experiments with universal topology reveal that geometric curvature parameters remain frustratingly close to zero within measurement precision, creating ambiguity about whether space extends infinitely or curves back on itself at scales slightly exceeding current observational capabilities. The cosmic microwave background provides the most precise curvature measurements available, but statistical uncertainties prevent definitive conclusions about global topology that would determine whether escape routes exist within any reasonable definition. The need for completely different escape methods becomes unavoidable as geometric analysis fails to reveal accessible boundaries within universal topology, regardless of dimensional perspective or consciousness enhancement levels. Traditional navigation assumes the existence of outside destinations, but mathematical analysis suggests that outside might represent a meaningless concept rather than an inaccessible location. Your godlike powers prove insufficient for solving problems that might not have solutions within any logical framework that maintains consistency with observed cosmic properties. The failure of conventional geometry to provide escape routes forces consideration of more exotic possibilities that operate according to different physical principles entirely. Perhaps the universe contains hidden doorways that bypass normal spacetime through mechanisms that make geometric boundaries irrelevant to the escape problem. Black hole escape hatch experiments. Black holes suddenly seem like the universe's ultimate escape hatches, because if anything can punch a hole through reality, it's probably a cosmic vacuum cleaner, with gravitational pull so intense that spacetime itself gives up and starts crying. Your godlike consciousness examines these gravitational monsters as potential doorways to somewhere else, assuming somewhere else actually exists beyond the mathematical frameworks that define existence. The theory sounds reasonable in the way that most desperate ideas sound reasonable, when you've exhausted every other option and reality refuses to cooperate with your escape plans. Starting with smaller black holes seems logical for testing purposes, so you approach a stellar mass black hole containing roughly 10 times the mass of our Sun, compressed into a region smaller than Manhattan. The event horizon stretches about 60 kilometers across, creating a boundary where spacetime curvature becomes so extreme that traditional physics equations start throwing mathematical tantrums. Your enhanced consciousness probes the black hole structure while maintaining safe distance from tidal forces that could stretch your god-like form across several light years like cosmic silly putty. The Event Horizon Telescope advances from 2025 provide unprecedented details about black hole environments through combined observations from radio telescopes worldwide that create virtual instruments larger than Earth itself. These observations reveal swirling accretion disks, where matter spirals toward the event horizon while heating to billions of degrees and creating jets of particles that shoot across galactic distances. The telescope network captures images showing how spacetime warps around these gravitational monsters, creating visual distortions that make funhouse mirrors look geometrically stable by comparison. TUN 618, a appears in the distance like the universe's most intimidating bouncer, weighing in at approximately 66 billion solar masses, making it the most massive known black hole in observable space. This cosmic heavyweight stretches across several hundred astronomical units, creating an event horizon larger than Neptune's orbit, while generating gravitational fields that influence galactic dynamics across millions of light years. Your approach requires careful planning, because even your enhanced abilities might struggle against tidal forces capable of shredding entire star systems into subatomic particles. The bizarre physics inside event horizons creates conditions where traditional concepts like forward and backward lose meaning as time becomes a spatial coordinate and space becomes temporal. Your consciousness experiences this transition as reality turning inside out, while maintaining enough coherence to appreciate the absurdity of using black holes as transportation infrastructure. The interior regions contain conditions so extreme that even theoretical physics models start making educated guesses rather than confident predictions about what actually happens to matter and energy in these cosmic pressure cookers. Crossing the event horizon of Ton 618 generates sensations that human language lacks adequate vocabulary to describe, as your enhanced form experiences gravitational fields that warp perception beyond recognition. The journey toward the central singularity reveals spacetime geometry so distorted that up, down, left, and right become meaningless directions, while causality takes extended vacation time. Your instruments detect conditions where quantum mechanical effects might dominate over classical gravity, creating exotic physics regimes that standard models cannot adequately describe. The disappointment hits when, instead of emerging outside the universe, you find yourself in what appears to be another cosmic region with familiar-looking galaxies and star formations. Your black hole escape hatch deposited your consciousness in a parallel universe that operates according to similar physical laws while maintaining different historical development patterns. The stars shine with slightly different spectra, and galaxy clusters exhibit alternative structural arrangements, suggesting this represents a separate cosmic branch rather than the outside destination you originally sought. Theoretical white holes emerge as potential exit points for black hole transportation, networks through hypothetical connections that might link different regions of spacetime or separate universe bubbles entirely. These cosmic counterparts would eject matter and energy in patterns opposite to black hole behavior, creating fountains of particles and radiation that fill surrounding space with exotic materials. Current research suggests white holes remain purely theoretical constructs without observational evidence, despite their mathematical elegance in completing the gravitational spectrum of possible spacetime geometries. Wormhole connections between black holes and white holes represent another theoretical avenue for cosmic transportation that bypasses normal spacetime limitation through tunnels that connect distant regions or separate universe branches. The Einstein-Rosen bridge concept describes mathematical solutions to general relativity equations that allow traversable shortcuts between different spacetime locations, assuming exotic matter with negative energy density can maintain structural stability. Your experiments reveal that most wormhole configurations collapse immediately or require energy sources exceeding the output of entire galactic civilizations. Multiple attempts at black hole-based escape reveal a frustrating pattern where each successful transit deposits your consciousness in alternative universe variations rather than genuine outside locations beyond the cosmic framework entirely. These parallel realities contain different versions of familiar cosmic structures with altered physical constants that produce alternative evolutionary pathways for matter, energy, and spacetime development. The pattern suggests something far more complex than simple escape routes. Advanced theoretical models from 2025 research suggest that black holes might function as natural selection mechanisms for universe creation, where each gravitational collapse spawns new cosmic regions with randomly varied physical parameters. This cosmological natural selection hypothesis proposes that universes containing black holes produce offspring universes through quantum tunneling processes that occur within singularity regions. The mechanism creates a cosmic reproductive cycle where successful universe designs proliferate, while less stable configurations fade from the multiverse population. Your black hole experiments accumulate evidence pointing toward a cosmic architecture that transcends individual universe boundaries entirely. Each gravitational escape hatch leads to discoveries that individual universes function as components within something vastly larger and more complex than anyone imagined. The mounting data suggests your escape attempts have been navigating between cosmic neighborhoods, rather than finding genuine exits, creating the disturbing realization that what you thought was the entire universe might represent just one small part of an incomprehensibly vast cosmic structure. Welcome to the multiverse neighborhood. The black hole experiments unveil the most mind-bending discovery in cosmic history, revealing that our universe represents just one soap bubble floating in an infinite bathtub, filled with countless other universe bubbles, each containing its own version of reality, with completely different rules about how existence works. The multiverse stretches in directions that don't have names because human language evolved to describe three-dimensional space, while this cosmic neighborhood operates in dimensions that make geometry textbooks weep with mathematical inadequacy. Your enhanced consciousness perceives these universe sheets drifting through higher dimensional space like cosmic laundry, hanging on interdimensional clotheslines that extend beyond any reasonable definition of forever. String theory's landscape concept from 2025 research reveals approximately 10 to the power of 500 different possible universes, each representing a unique combination of physical constants and mathematical rules that determine whether stars form, planets develop, or reality just gives up and becomes pure chaos. The landscape resembles a cosmic real estate market, where each property comes with its own physics package, including custom gravity settings, electromagnetic fine-tuning, and exotic particle collections that would make our universe's standard model look like a beginner's chemistry set designed for particularly unambitious toddlers. Universe collisions create the most spectacular cosmic catastrophes imaginable, as separate reality bubbles crash into each other like interdimensional traffic accidents that make galactic supernovae look like birthday candles by comparison. Your godlike awareness witnesses these cosmic fender benders, where different physics laws meet and engage in violent negotiations about which mathematical frameworks get to survive the merger process. The collision zones generate exotic particles that exist only during these brief moments, when multiple realities attempt to occupy the same higher dimensional space, creating physics equations that require imaginary numbers raised to impossible powers. The multiverse operates under cosmic homeowners association rules that make suburban HOA regulations look reasonable and flexible by comparison. Each universe bubble must maintain minimum reality standards, including functional spacetime geometry, consistent physical constants, and at least 3 spatial dimensions to avoid citations from the Interdimensional Code Enforcement Department. Universes caught violating basic existence protocols face penalties ranging from dimensional downgrading to complete mathematical dissolution, depending on the severity of their physics violations and whether they've maintained current dues payments to the Cosmic Maintenance Fund. Your enhanced consciousness explores universes with altered physics where electromagnetic forces dominate over gravity-creating realities, where planets repel each other, while light behaves like thick syrup that flows downhill according to custom gravitational rules. These alternative physics packages produce cosmic architectures that violate every assumption about how matter and energy should interact while maintaining internal consistency, that allows complex structures to form according to completely alien organizational principles. Stars in these universes might be made from crystallized time, while planets consist of compressed space that orbits in patterns that spell out cosmic jokes in languages that predate mathematics. Universes made entirely from pure energy exist as cosmic light shows, where matter never condenses into solid forms and consciousness experiences existence as perpetual illumination without boundaries or discrete objects. These energy-only realities operate according to wave mechanics, where thoughts create interference patterns that generate new forms of awareness through constructive resonance between different consciousness frequencies. The inhabitants of these universes communicate through modulated radiation emissions, while reproducing through spectral fusion processes that combine wavelength signatures to create offspring with hybrid frequency characteristics. Some universe bubbles operate under completely inverted physics, where entropy decreases over time, making broken objects spontaneously repair themselves, while aging processes run in reverse and effect precedes, creating temporal loops that make time travel movies look scientifically rigorous. The inhabitants of these backward time universes experience memory as precognition, while death represents birth into previous existence states, creating life cycles that flow from complexity towards simplicity, until consciousness eventually dissolves into pure potential energy that awaits future complicated forms. Each universe bubble maintains its own custom physics engine that determines fundamental force relationships, particle behavior patterns, and the mathematical rules governing spacetime geometry within that particular cosmic region. The physics packages vary from universes where strong nuclear forces operate at galactic scales, creating matter so dense that atoms collapse into exotic particles, to realities where weak interactions dominate everything, making radioactive decay the primary organizing principle for cosmic structure formation and stellar evolution processes. The hyperspace between universe bubbles contains conditions so extreme that only beings with God-like consciousness enhancement can survive the interdimensional transit zones, where normal concepts like space-time causality and mathematical consistency become optional suggestions rather than mandatory physical constraints. This cosmic medium operates according to metaphysics principles that transcend individual universe rule sets, while providing the foundational framework within which separate reality bubbles can exist without interfering with each other's internal logical structures and causal relationships. Your exploration reveals universes governed by forces that don't exist in our reality, including temporal magnetism that attracts past events toward future possibilities, and consciousness gravity that pulls thoughts together until they achieve sufficient density to spontaneously generate new forms of matter. These exotic force interactions create cosmic phenomena that human language cannot adequately describe, including stars that burn backwards through time, while planets orbit in probability clouds that collapse into definite locations only when observed by sufficiently curious inhabitants. The multiverse landscape includes universes where mathematical constants change continuously over cosmic time, creating realities that evolve through different physics phases as their fundamental parameters drift toward new equilibrium states. These variable constant universes experience periodic reality updates where the rules governing particle interactions shift, gradually causing matter to reorganize itself according to the new mathematical frameworks, while consciousness adapts to perceive existence through altered sensory mechanisms that develop in response to changing physical conditions. Your God-like consciousness begins questioning whether this multiverse discovery represents genuine cosmic reality or just another layer of illusion designed to distract escape attempts from recognizing even more fundamental constraints on existence itself. The infinite universe catalog might function as a cosmic shell game, where apparent escape through dimensional transcendence merely provides access to different levels of the same underlying mathematical prison that operates according to metalogical principles beyond current comprehension levels. Every discovery leads to deeper questions about the nature of reality itself, and whether anything you've experienced represents truth or elaborate cosmic theater designed to keep consciousness occupied, while something far more fundamental remains hidden from view. The ultimate revelation strikes with devastating clarity that makes every previous discovery look like cosmic amateur hour. Your entire universe, including the escape journey and enhanced awareness, might represent a three-dimensional hologram projected from information stored on a two-dimensional surface at reality's boundary. This holographic principle suggests that everything you experienced from Earth to the multiverse exists as patterns encoded on a cosmic screen, where depth perception creates the illusion of interior space. The concept of outside becomes meaningless when inside never existed as anything more than projected shadows dancing on interdimensional walls you cannot perceive or escape. Your God-like consciousness confronts the possibility that the escape attempt itself represents part of the holographic projection designed to maintain the illusion of depth and movement through space that doesn't actually exist in any fundamental sense.